But Chicago, folks, what's happening? Johnny Lee Long, and I'm not in a Hobo Depot. I got a question for you guys today. You ready? I mean, I've been thinking about it all night, and so it gives me an opportunity now to actually ask myself that question out loud and pretty much answer it, I guess, on my own, for me. So I asked myself, what makes me play 4-string? What makes me play a 5-string? What makes me play a jazz? What makes me play Ken Smith? What makes me play Olympic? What makes me play a Status? What makes me play Music Man? What makes me play a Federa? What makes me play a Hobo? I can keep on going. What makes me play a muck bass? You know, I mean, what makes me play all these basses? You know, what determines what I should play? You ever ask yourself that? Who and what determines what you should play? I think a lot of times videos. Right? When I first got started, why are you down there, man? Anyway, when I first got started, I got started with the first thing I saw, and that was a Fender. All right, so that was determined from the time I started to the time I could afford something else. That was my bass. As time went on, I began to experiment on other basses, and I went to my dream bass was always a Music Man. Couldn't afford it, couldn't get it. I was around it all the time. Look, just couldn't get it. As I got older and I began to work for myself and money, began to make itself available, I ran across one. And it wasn't that I had to pay for it, it was a gift. To make a long story short, I think a lot of times, guys, and I want to say this definitely in the Hobo Depot spirit, we lean to things that a lot of times it's not us. All right. There are a lot of players out there that should be playing a certain kind of bass, and they're not playing it. So that hurts them in the long run. They don't see it. They don't see it at the beginning because they can afford to have it, and it was given to them, or they traded something to get it, and they finally got it, and kind of push come to shove, it's really not the bass for you. So how do you determine what bass is for you? My thing is, it's you. It's you. It's whatever goes in your hand that feels good, that sounds good to you. Now, a lot of us get basses, and they gotta sound good to the brother over there and the sister over there. If they say it sounds good out there, then that's the bass I should have in my hand. But there's another brother over here or sister over here in the middle of you watching you play, and you're struggling. All right? You're struggling because it's too much bass for you. They never said it didn't sound good. It was just too much bass for you. So you lean toward that because everybody's making a hoop and a hop and a hop lock. I said a hop lock and a hop lock for that, because you're killing on that joint, man. That's you right there, baby. No, this is really not you. So how do you find you? So what you do is what I normally do is go back to where I first started. I go back to where I first started. And, because I work at the Hobo Depot, I get a chance to, get bases that I started with and I ended up with. And it gives me an avenue, not because what people think I should be having in my hand. Oh, you should have such and such a base in your hand. MTD. You should have a Federa. You should have a mayonnaise. You should have what? I should? You should give it to me, and then I can prove to you I shouldn't have it. That's the thing. So just because a base has a certain reputation, look, reputation, look, reputation, doesn't mean that you got to have it. All right. There's a lot of killer players. You know what I always go back to is James Jamerson. Oh, man, I always go back to that cat, man. It's like, dude, you played a P bass. You never saw him with anything else in hand. I'm not saying he didn't have anything else, but you never saw him with anything else in his hand but a P bass. And look how much history he made with that P bass. I think a lot of times we get carried away with we can afford and we can have. Not where's your gift? Where's your level? Is this your level? You got a $10,000 bass in your hand, but your level is $300. So you got a $10,000 bass in your hand, and your level is $300, and you just making all kinds of crazy noise, and that $10,000 bass making you even more crazier. Look, just absolutely crazier. So, my thing today is I keep going back and I keep going, dude, what exactly is your sound? Well, I lean more, I'm going to talk about me. I ain't going to talk about y'all no more. I'm talking about me. I lean more towards the thickness of a broad sound. All right? That would mean Music Man or Ken Smith up in that vibe. My second choice would be completely jazz, a jazz bass. And, I like old stuff, so it would be, the old stuff would be me. If it's old, I like it. In fact, I love it if it's old. I like anything that sounds broad sounding, so that means that I like pretty much humbucker pickups. You have to think and actually set yourself down and go like, do I like jazz kind of pickups or do I like broad kind of pickups? Or do I want them both and I can have the best of both worlds? Yeah, well, you can do that too. But the main thing is you have to make a decision of what you want us to hear when you play. What voice you want us to hear? Is that the voice you want us to hear every time you play? Or is that the voice you want us to hear right now? That's the voice I want you to hear right now. All right? And I'm gonna throw somebody out there. My first real professional impression was Andrew Gouché. All right? I met him in 80-something. Now, there was other people before him. But my first live impression of a bass player and what they play was Andrew Gouché. Now, when I saw Andrew in 1984, we met in 1984, I saw him playing a G&L. Now, it's the thickness of that G&L that kind of brought me to the stage and went like, now I really know I want me a Music Man. Look, I really want a Music Man. And that time, I was playing a jazz. The next time I saw Andrew, the next third time, which is 87, 88, I was playing a Music Man. And he had moved up to a Tobias. But he still had that broadness of sound. Andrew had that broadness of sound, that sound that it fills the whole stage without actually wanting to do it. And it just, the more I heard him, the more I wanted to be impressed by that sound of myself. So I still had my jazz bass and I still had my Music Man bass, but I lean more to my Music Man because it was a broader sounding bass. But even right now, Andrew plays a MTD. He plays MTDs. I mean, listen to his sound. It's very broad sounding. Nothing is really up in your face, but it's really thick and broad. And when he plays it, the whole sound just comes around you to the back and just pulls you right into him, and just all of this like this. It's not like this. It's like this. And I like, and I was like, okay, shit. Am I still thinking the first time I met Andrew? Is that what I'm thinking? And I'm thinking, man, I got to make a decision. So my whole thing is, um, it's nice to have three bases. Okay, I'm gonna say three. You got your jazz, you got your P bass, and you got whatever it is, your MTD, Ken Smith, or McElroy, or Hobo Depot, Hobo basses, or or you have your mayonnaise, or you have all these expensive basses they got out right now. Federa, you have your very expensive basses. But I think at push come to shove, how will we really know your voice if we don't see you more than 3 times with the same bass? I pretty much, and I don't want to stay on Andrew, but I pretty much know Andrew's sound now. He's been on that bass for years now, and so that's his sound. Me, I've been in between jazz bass and Music Man. Here recently, I pretty much been on the Ken Smith, but the Ken Smith has a jazz, and then it has that broad sounding Smith. So I'm pretty much on the Smith right now, Smith, Music Man kind of thing. So this is me talking to me. This is my sound now. This is my sound. So I'm saying to you guys today, man, and I know I don't want this to be too long, like a lecture or something like that. But I want you guys to take a step back, because I got a lot of great friends. They got 30 and 45 basses. I had one friend that got 70 something basses. I have another friend, he probably got 3 houses of basses. 3 houses. And each room is filled with basses. So you never see him with one particular bass. It's just, every hour he can have a different bass. Look, every hour, every hour gig. And I don't know his voice. And I have a lot of friends that, they particularly play 2 to 3 basses, but they have one main bass you always catch them with. But and that's their sound, so I would know their voice. So, make a long story short today, guys. First of all, learn your voice. If you don't have a voice, then you need to find your voice. If you haven't found it by now, you still got time. It's a little late, but you still got time. It's nice to emulate all the super cats out here right now. It's really nice to do that, but they already established. You know what I'm saying? They already got records. They already established. Now you need a voice, all right? And you have to settle down. First of all, I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people ain't gonna like it. 82 notes don't make you have a voice. That's not a voice. You're just screaming and hollering to me. All right? Find your voice. You have to find it, and then you have to settle into your voice. And then once you settle into your voice, we can settle into your voice. But when I see a cat on stage and he's playing all kinds of licks and stuff like that, I don't know what he sounds like. He won't stay still long enough for me to even talk to him. Look, he's driving down the interstate, making all kinds, getting off ramps, coming back on. I don't know what his voice is. And once again, once you find your voice, everybody will come to you and go like, I like what you play, man. I like how you sound. Get it? I like what you play, and I like how you sound. Not, boy, you was killing, man. You was killing. You dope, bro. Everything you do, man, is cold, man. No, everything you do ain't cold. I'd rather for somebody to come and say, I love your voice. I love how you simply talk. When you was learning how to talk, nobody was around you throwing 18 words out at one time. You learned each word individually. You kept hearing that same word in the same speed, in the same tone, every day until you got it. Same thing for bass. If you slow stuff down and you hear it every day, and you play it every day, and you slow it down where people can understand what you're talking about, they start loving your voice. It's nice to have, man, it's nice to have super chops. I wish I had them. I wish I had the real super chops. I don't have the real super chops. I have what I have. And I try to slow it down during a gig so people can understand that I'm talking to them. Not that I'm screaming at them, hollering at them, and talking in commercial mode. Look, commercial mode, 30-second modes. That's commercial mode. I call that commercial mode. So, guys, I'm basically talking to myself today. I had to, the Bible says, faith comes from hearing, and if you keep saying stuff, you hear it, you'll believe it, and you know it. So my thing is, take your time, do your thing, do you, but make sure that if you're gonna talk to somebody, make sure they understand what you're doing. All right, just make sure they understand. Slow it down so we can understand them. I say you ain't got to stop all the super chops. Just slow them down so we can understand them. And talk to us. Don't holler. Look, don't be hollering. Why are you hollering? Once again, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming by my YouTube, subscribing, liking, sharing, definitely doing all that. And once again, I want to thank everybody who donated to the Hobo Depot, my family, my CD. My queen and I, we can't thank you guys enough. Every time I make a video, I got to tell you that because, you got to keep hearing it until you believe it. And I'm telling you, from the bottom of our hearts, we love you guys. We love you with everything we got in you, everything we got in you. So if you need help, we're here. You can call me. I try to answer the phone every time. That's what we do. Look, that's just what we do. So we love you guys once again, and Hootie loves you, and please keep us in prayer constantly, y'all. And thanks for your donations again. Shada kaka. Peace out.